Hello everyone, my name is Alicia Jackson, licensed professional counselor. Today we're going to review Turning Red, the Disney Pixar movie, and we're going to use the internal family systems model to take a look at what's happening with the family, as there are some things that are happening generationally through legacy burdens, and also a very interesting dynamic between the main character Maylene and her mother Ming. So please, of course, before we get into it, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and of course, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking and what you're feeling through this review, as we're looking at the very fragile relationship of parent and child, and especially during an extremely fragile period, which is puberty, right? If you're curious about puberty and what's happening with Maylin, I have done a video looking at the different conflict that happens in puberty and the struggle to get identity and to maintain identity and voice, and what happens when that goes well and what happens when it doesn't go well. So definitely take a look at that, but let's get into what's happening in this family through the lens of IFS. Now, if you're not familiar with internal family systems, I have also done a full, detailed view of what internal family systems is. But in short, I'm just going to be using the language of the model, which is talking about protectors. You'll hear me say protectors a lot, and protectors are truly how we kind of maybe have heard them in our everyday language is defense mechanisms. You know, our brains are very protective, very protective. They're looking and searching for any type of negative thing or pain. And when we experience pain, our body holds it, and our brains develop a protective mechanism, a protective system on how to prevent this from happening again. And so we see these protectors definitely with Maylin. I love her system. Her system is definitely shown very well in this movie, as at the beginning of the movie, she's saying like she gets to do what she wants to do. She gets to live her own life, and she is so excited. But then the next sentence, she's saying, you know, the first rule of our family is that you honor your parents, and you do everything that they want you to do. And at the same time, honor yourself. And it's like, I don't know how we get to do that. And that is really where this internal, struggle is with Maylin. She is really in this internal battle with doing that. And we see that there are some family norms that are happening here, but we'll talk about that as we're talking through the protectors. So one of the protectors that Maylin has is overachieving. She is a star. She's a superstar in her family. She gets all A's. She's playing the flute. She's doing well. And and even though her peers have other names that they use to describe her, she takes all of them because she knows it's like she's almost aware of what's happening, but she's really taking this as a way to make her family proud. Even with cleaning day, she is excited, but then there's also this part of Maylene that is pressured. And this is this responsible pleaser, very pressured by the responsibility. I mean, the family has a family business, and so I think that that comes along with it for sure. They have a family business that's honoring their family and their ancestors. This temple is representing so much for their family. She's feeling definitely the pressure to make her family proud, but also in honoring her family. So we see this responsible pleaser rushing home every day to clean every day. Also, during the movie, we see where she was this is after she gets the red panda, and she is supposed to go to Tyler's party. Grandmother gives her this very firm conversation about how she feels that her mother's heart would be broken if she were not to go through with the ceremony, and how that would change the relationship. And really what grandmother's doing is really projecting a lot of her tension and strain in her relationship with Maylin's mother. But we'll get to that in a little bit later. The next protector that we see is is denial or dishonesty. You know, a little bit of both here. As it was so funny to see her friends. They're looking at this boy, Devin, and in the convenience store, and Maylin is not impressed. She's not impressed at all, and she's like, "Look at these men in Fort Town. These are real men." And then she gets home and she's doodling pictures of him, and she's hiding under the bed trying to withhold it. She's dreaming of him. She's really trying to resist these urges of liking this boy, and or really liking boys other than these safe boys who are far, far away, right? And not ones that are close to her that she could potentially engage with. So she's really having this internal struggle and battle with this. We also see this too as her mother, as after she confronted Devin about, defiling her precious daughter, which didn't happen. But after that happened, her mother said, "How are you doing?" And she said, "Everything's fine. It's all good," which was definitely not the truth. She was embarrassed and just panicking within herself of like, what is going on with me? She's trying to understand what's happening. We also see this other part, this critical part, that after her mother confronts her and she's at home in her room, and she is trying to figure out what is happening. She's like, how could you do this to your mother? She starts scolding herself, this very critical part. And she's using this very parental voice. She's calling herself a sicko, liking this boy. She's very, very harsh, with herself, with this critical part, and telling herself that this can never happen again. So another protector is this part that is suppressing emotions or bottling emotions. And I'm going to sit here for a moment because this is one of definitely the legacy burdens within the family. For this is the issue with Mom, Ming, her sisters, and her grandmother. And now we're seeing it, of course, in Maylin. And this is where the red panda comes out, right? So of course the red panda represents a lot of things. It represents puberty, right? It represents her voice and her independence, and it also represents emotions. Whenever the red panda comes out, it's because she's experiencing an emotion, right? And so there is this family belief that this red panda is going to take over you. You have to control it. You have to put it and bottle it in. You have to compartmentalize it. You have to deny it. It is the darkness to this panda. And really, Maylin, maybe day 2, comes to realize that, hey, I can manage this on my own. She's able to calm herself. She's able to use connection, which is in the IFS model, self-energy. And again, if you want more information about that, please watch the video. But she is using her self-energy to truly manage this red panda, and to embrace her voice, not going to extremes, by using these manager parts of being the overachiever and suppressing emotions, and being the responsible pleaser to quiet the red panda, but finding balance and building that relationship with who she is, her calm, and her connection with her friends, and her friends rock. Can we just say that for a moment? Her friends truly are supportive, and they tell her the truth about herself. This is a healthy group of friends. I hope to see more healthy group of friends in Disney and Pixar movies and other movies moving forward, so kids can really have a view of what healthy friendship looks like. Okay, that was just a tidbit. But somewhere down the line, as Mother stated, she said somewhere down the line, as this red panda was meant to be something that was a blessing. It was what the ancestor used to protect the family from danger, and it was a blessing. But she said that somewhere down the line it became an inconvenience, and she said when they embraced this new world. I'm wondering if they're talking about migration. They don't give us a lot of information, but that's kind of what I'm feeling potentially happened when they maybe migrated to Canada, that there was all this pressure, definitely as the first family to enter this new world, this new country, to succeed. And so maybe that's what's happening, but that's my hypothesis. My other hypothesis that I do feel is happening is we see mom's red panda, and whew, mom's red panda is humongous and large. We also see that grandma has a scar on her face. I'm curious. I don't know this to be true, but I'm curious if that scar came from mom having a moment in her puberty stage of using her voice and then having guilt about that and really needing to bottle her emotions and control this red panda because of not just the guilt but shame that she was feeling because of what this red panda and the darkness that came on, as dad tells us some things. We'll get into that. It seems like the family has been affected as you hear the aunts talk about Ming's panda and how Ming's panda is huge and there's no way that Maylin can control it when she already has. But because Ming struggled to manage her own panda, that perception is then put on Ming that she doesn't know what she can do because mom wasn't able to control her panda. And that really causes this tension in this relationship with mom and daughter. And this responsible pleaser is built from all of this tension. Built, I have to control it. I have to do what my family says because they have some trauma, right, regarding this stage of puberty and how it can go wrong, And at the same time, with Ming embracing her voice and fighting through this legacy burden in their family, it's helping even for her mother to see that it is possible. But truly, this responsible pleaser is really playing up this legacy burden that's happening within the family of what's potentially has happened with Ming's panda and impacted the family system and how they fear the same thing will happen between Ming and Maylin. Another protector that Maylin has is overreacting. She, she poor thing. She talked about moving to another city, which I definitely understand. Her mother embarrassed her at a very extreme level and continues to do so. But her mother embarrassed her when she went to that store to confront Devin, and she's like, maybe we should just move to another city, and thought that could be a way to escape this family, this tension, or even this internal struggle she's having. Right? She also overreacted when they were selling merchandise for the Red Panda to get tickets to Fort Town, and they didn't have enough money. And she starts to kind of ruminate and go of all the lengths that she could have went to make sure that they had enough money. Maybe we should charge more money. And her friend had to kind of calm her down. Like, it's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. And then, of course, Tyler gives them another option of going to his party to make the rest of the money. The next protector is apologizing. And we see that she's very apologetic over things that are really normal, like crying, having emotions, and that's really just coming from that responsible pleaser, right? And so she's always feeling like what she's doing is not right. And she even talked about that when she was really having her moment of voice with her mom as they were both red pandas were in full form, and she's like, nothing I do is good enough. I can never please you, because she's feeling this burden, right? As we talked about with the responsible pleaser. And so the way she manages that is just by apologizing over and over for things that are not her fault and that are just natural. The last protector we're going to talk about is rage. Woo! Maylin has some rage. As rage is when we have not listened to ourselves. If there's a part of us that has not been listened to, rage is going to show up. Rage is going to show up. And that's why addressing our anger is so important. Suppressing and having that manager part that's suppressing those emotions and apologizing for everything. Rage becomes a protector because it's like, enough. How could you do this? And Maylin definitely shows that as well in this family system, as she is tired. She is tired of of carrying this heavy burden, and she wants to be able to do what she feels is best for herself and be able to have the ability to make mistakes and learn from them. Some of the pains, the parts of Maylin that hold pain, we would call them exiles or an exile part, and it's definitely shame and embarrassment. And that is something that unfortunately can happen in the parenting relationship where the child is made to feel like they are bad instead of that, hey, we made a mistake and how can we learn from it, and taking that view. Because they are responding from fear, because they are responding from fear, from this place of, no, you don't know how to manage this, we have to do this, we have to do this ritual, or this is going to take over you, there's darkness, there's all this fear-based response. It makes it feel for Maylin like that one step and she doesn't have a place to go. If she does one thing wrong, it's going to bring shame to her and her family. And that is definitely, there's definitely parts of her that hold shame and embarrassment for wanting to do something different, wanting to be different, wanting to embrace the panda, and be herself and make herself happy. And she gets there. She says, my panda, my choice. So how does she get there? How does she get there? Thank goodness. Thank goodness for dad, right? Thank goodness for dad, as he was able to really give her some information. We see that there was family secrets. There's family secrets. So he said, did you even know about mom's panda? She said, no, I didn't know. And he told her about how mom's panda came to be because grandmother did not like him. And that helps to give Maylin information. Also get to see, of course, some of mom's system and her protectors, as she's very hyper vigilant. She's got binoculars outside of the school window at multiple times. Her and security are having fights, right? She is looking, right? She couldn't just see Maylin's journal on the floor. She had to look at it and open it and see what was going on, because she is scared. She's scared of her daughter not being able to manage this panda because she wasn't able to. And it was causing an enmeshment in their relationship where there was overstepping. She was overstepping her boundaries. Even grandmother was overstepping her boundaries, mom's boundaries, when she heard about Maylin and what was happening. And she said, I'm coming. Did mom ask her to come? No, but she overstepped and did anyway. Mom's rage, definitely. We see that's a very, very, a huge part for her, because of that protector that she has as well for suppressing her emotions. And we also get to see mom's exile. Mom's exile is shown when Maylin is doing the ritual at the end of the movie, and she sees this teenage part of her mother, and that's out of her mom, who's carrying shame. She's carrying shame of disappointing her mother, that same shame that's being passed on to Maylin, and she's able to be present for her. She's able to give her the reassurance and that she needs from her self energy, and so that was beautiful to see. Ming was able to acknowledge her daughter's protectors of being hard on herself and pleasing everyone. She was able to see that at the end of the movie. In doing so, in Maylin being present with her mother's exile, Ming was then able to acknowledge all the protectors, all those protectors her daughter had, and of being hard on herself, of working to please everyone, and she in herself could identify with them because she had those same protectors. She had those same protectors, and told her daughter to embrace them despite of what she felt that red panda could do to their relationship. And even Maylin had that same fear, as once mom went over, she said, oh, I hope I'm not going to regret this. And we get to see at the end of the movie where mom and daughter are able to respect each other, have boundaries. She said, my panda, my choice. And I think that is awesome to see for a child to set a boundary with a mother and a mother respected. Parents often set boundaries with their children, and that is a reciprocal relationship. And of course, there's definitely some boundaries surrounding that, maybe for Maylin and her mother about what she's going to set boundaries on. But this is helping her to come to her sense of identity, helping her to come to trust herself, and helping to mend that legacy burden that that family has been carrying for so long. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Disney and Pixar, for this wonderful display of internal family systems, whether they knew it or not. And please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, be cool, be calm, be centered. Peace.